Peace, peace, peace. What's the deal? We back in this motherfucker once again. Deal with some information real quick. Yo, what's up? You know what I mean? How's everybody doing? I see y'all. Yo, what's the deal? What's up? I see you, Brianna, Robert. I see everybody in here. What's going on? 313. What's up, Detroit? What's good? You feeling like this one? Like this? Just feeling like the one? Yeah, we gonna go in. What's up? What's good? Queen of Success, EMS girl, Steve. What's up, Steve? I see 317. What's up, 317? Everybody in the building. What's up, Will? You know what I mean? Esoteric Dragon, Hotep, Moon Spirit, Peace. What's good, everybody? Now, we're gonna deal with how to not get trapped in the Matrix. I got a whole fucking page of notes. I've been trying to do this shit since 8 a.m. It's about noon now. Again, we keeping it up. We coming every day, regardless of whom or what. So whether I have something to talk about or not, I'm going to step in front of this camera and we're going to see what happened every single day. So with that being said, let's start with today's mathematics. It's the day of the 23. If we go into supreme mathematics, 23 and supreme alphabet, or we'll say supreme alphabet, then we'll go into supreme mathematics because they are intertwined. So in supreme alphabet, we're dealing with the principle of wisdom, to be wise, to be aware, right? 23, when we go into supreme mathematics, the day of the 23, 2 is wisdom, 3 is understanding. 2 plus 3 goes into the 5, and the 5 is power. Now, what does that mean? Somebody who's wise has clarity in their thinking. Simply. Somebody saying music, please. All right, y'all want to hear some tunes? We can put on some tunes if y'all really want to hear it. We can do that. Y'all want to hear some shit? We can do that. But let me lay this foundation first. We'll lay the foundation and we'll get on it. The 23, to be wise is to have clarity in your thinking. If you don't have clarity in your thinking in this realm, you will get trapped into this matrix. Now, what do I mean? What does it mean to even be trapped in the matrix? What is the definition of that? The definition of being trapped in the matrix is not knowing how to apply your information. See, I don't come from this from the perspective of the ignorant. This is coming from the perspective of those already in the know, not somebody who don't know. For those of us who are already woke, you can still be woke and get caught up in this shit because this is what happens. A lot of times when people become woke, you want to wake up those around you. You want to spread the information. You want to do this. You want to do that. And when people are not receptive to what you have to say, we charge it to the game. Or you can say, we say, oh, that person is ignorant. That person can't understand this shit. We just push them off, thinking that this is the correct path. When in all actuality, we must teach. We must be responsible for the ignorant. We have to be responsible. So we can't push them away, first and foremost, because now we're ego tripping. Like, I know something that you don't, and because you don't want to listen to me, you're ignorant and there's something wrong with you, which is never the case. What the problem is the information is not being applied correctly because there's a lack of understanding. And because there's a lack of understanding, you have no power. Without understanding your words, ways, and actions, you can have no power in this matrix. Let's take it a step further. To be in the matrix is ruled by fuck shit. We know this, right? It's ruled by drama, ignorance shit, keeping people completely absorbed into absolutely nothing. You can go anywhere on the face of this earth And at least 85% of the people are occupied with absolutely nothing. Yeah, they pay their bills. Yeah, they take care of their kids. They fulfill their basic responsibilities as human beings. They do that. But outside of that, this hat is looking pretty crazy. I'll just take this shit off. Besides that, besides people fulfilling their basic responsibilities in life, there is no depth to their soul because they are not wise in their understanding, which will empower them. We let all this noise go past. So I'm just laying the foundation. To be wise is to have clarity in your thinking. When you have clarity in your thinking, that gives you power because we know the power of thought. We all know the power of thought, or we should know the power of thought. So, to be wise is to have clarity in your thinking. If you can understand that, you will have a much easier time navigating this matrix. Because again, this matrix is built off of you being ignorant. Because if you was not ignorant, the matrix will have no legs to stand on. Because let's look at it. Does it show power or strength if you have to deceive people, if you have to lie to people, if you have to cheat people, if you have to steal from people? Where is the power in that? Because we can say this country, and I'm speaking directly for America. I'm not speaking about any other country. But for at least America, you can say America has a bad reputation, right? We all know the history. We know the history. There's no need to get into it, but let's get into it anyway. The country was built off of free labor. Common sense, right? So, people want to know, why is things not just? Why is the system corrupt? Well, the whole history, I'm not going to say the whole history of the country, but the modern times, since 1492, we have been under a certain rulership, right? And that rulership is determined by you being ignorant. That's why we even are still ignorant to this day, where people say, some people feel we're from Africa, some people say we are original to this land. And it's not for me to say who's right and who's wrong, because some people very well may be from Africa and some people very well may be from America. So it's not for me to tell somebody where the fuck they come from, because we all come from different places and walks of life. However, I say that to say that we are in a position in life where we have conflicting theories. And we could say, that's why people come to YouTube to find out what is the right path, what is the wrong path, where is the misinformation. Well, even truth can be misinformation because all truths are half truths, right? All truths are half truths. So even the truth is still not the whole truth. So even the truth can be a lie if said in a specific way. And that's how people manipulate words. So when we are dealing with this system, we're dealing with a culture. See, it's not a certain group of people. Let's make that clear. It's not a certain group of people with a certain state of mind and everybody else is free. Everybody wants to be like the elite. Let's not get it twisted. Everybody wants to be at the upper echelon of life. However, to be at the upper echelon of life, if I'm even saying that word right, but y'all know what I'm talking about. To even be up there, you have to play the game, right? You have to mix and mingle with certain type of characters and have to appease these characters in order for them to invest in who you are. And if they give you the red light, which is the no, you're not going anywhere. Somebody has to press a button for you to get anywhere in terms of the heights of life. You're not going to get to the heights of life by yourself. Somebody has to bring you in to a certain way of life. That's why they say a lot of actors in Hollywood are Scientologists, meaning they share a similar frequency of thought. They're not just in positions of power because they are free thinkers. They are in positions of power because they are limited thinkers. Not limited in their own thought, but limited in your thought. Because let's look at it. the entertainment industry. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the number one occupation in America where everybody strives to be is an actor. The number one most sought after occupation is to be an actor. Now let's look at that. What is it about acting that makes it so magnetic? It's because you are channeling spirits. But we all know the history of Hollywood, right? Or do we know the history of Hollywood? And if you don't know, allow me to enlighten you. We're not going to give a history lesson, but just know that these energies are ruled by black magic. If you want to do your own research, feel free. But to give you a basis, these energies are not ruled by energies that uplift people. It drains people. It drains your soul. However, it gives you a lot of money. It's going to drain your soul, but you will be well paid. You will be famous. You will be liked by many people that are in positions of power. But your soul will be drained in exchange for the money, as they say, selling your soul. You're not selling your soul by putting your soul in front of the image, in front of the TV screens. You're selling your soul because your soul is not able to flourish when you are within these type of societies. You cannot flourish because what rules this nation, we can just use a word, tricknology. Let's use the word tricknology. For those in the know exactly where I'm going with this. And if you are not in the know, allow me to bring you into the fold. As I was saying earlier, we look at people that are so-called elite because they have a lot of money that they can dish out to people. We look at these people with some type of importance. When in all actuality, they have to lie, they have to cheat, they have to steal, and they have to deceive to even be in the positions they are in. Why? Because we know that they are not worthy to be in those positions if we're talking about being honorable people. America isn't built off of honor. America is built off of tricknology. Because America is built off of tricknology, we must understand that they want to spread their culture to you so that you become the same way. You become just like them. Not that you are your own person and you can do your own thing. We're not about to give you millions of dollars for you to do your own thing and you can do whatever the fuck you want. We have to make sure that your mind is contained enough that you can handle this type of money and not do some crazy shit with it. And those who do so-called do crazy things with it, we don't really hear from them. They get blacklisted or blackballed or blackmailed and end up in some type of scandal. This happens because they broke their oath. You have to take the oath. What is the oath? You think like us. You are us. We are one and the same. So when we give you orders, you must fulfill them. That's why we're giving you this paycheck. Right? So we must understand, whenever we talk about success, whenever we're talking about prospering in this country, if you want to play by the rules or the so-called rules, then you will have to sell your soul. There's no way around it. You must be other than yourself. You're not going to walk on any job and be your black ass, quote unquote. You're not going to do that. You're going to adapt to their culture and their way of life so that you can get the paycheck. And we all have done this. So we know what it is. But we pretend like we don't. I got to pay bills. I got mouths to feed. But do we not see how low level that type of thinking is? So I'm going to sell my soul. I know that I'm selling my soul. That's why when people talk about karma and why bad shit doesn't really happen to these people is because we know. Yet we still choose to play the game. That's why they cannot be held responsible. That's why they're able to continue to do what they do. That's why they're still in power. Because they're not really doing anything to anyone. They're letting you know who they are, what they're about. But because we need to pay these bills, we are willing to negotiate when there should be no negotiation taking place whatsoever. Now, let's just say you do this, right? Let's just say you don't want to play the game. Let's just say you don't want nothing to do with the bullshit. Then you know you will be subjected to suffering because you will be outcasted. And you will have to live the rest of your life, you can say, in poverty. Because nobody wants to deal with somebody who is original, somebody who is themselves, because we know that this is colonization, not about black or white, because the skin tone don't matter. It's the way that people think. That's it. So what that you may look just like me, but if you think other than your original self, why does that matter? It doesn't. Because you think other than your original self. And whatever your original self is whatever that is. But if you don't think in accordance to nature and what's natural to you, there's no way you can truly prosper in life. You may make money, but you won't prosper. See, people don't know that there's a difference between making money and prospering. Prospering is allowing yourself to grow. You can prosper by allowing your soul to grow. You don't have to be a millionaire. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because we're ruled by a dominant society. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a business person. Everybody wants to be a business owner because they want to exit out of the system. They don't want to play the game anymore. However, there's still rules and regulations set in place that you must follow at all times. If you don't want the IRS at your door, right? If you don't want the tax man to take away everything you work for, or you don't want to get hit with a case and be sued. So you must still follow rules and regulations, even if you feel they are unjust. But that's the history of the country. You must still follow the rules, even if they are unjust. Because you know what you're dealing with. Now, I don't say any of this to say that there's a problem or things should be different or we need to change the way the system is. No, we don't. We just must understand the matrix so that we don't get trapped into it. It's not to change the matrix, it's to understand the matrix, because when you understand the matrix, you empower yourself to navigate around it. Meaning, as long as we have a physical body, we must deal with fuckery. As long as we are here, we're going to deal with the bullshit. So it's not to escape it, it's not to change it. We know that this is 3D. We know that this is Maya. We know that this is an illusion. So we don't get in our feelings about this shit. But we can upgrade our level of thought. Now let's take it a step further. You can say, how is it that so many people are blind, deaf, and dumb? How is it that so many people don't know who they are? How is it that so many people are lost? How is it that so many people are ignorant? How is it that so many people just have no idea what's really going on? And my answer to that is, they don't want to know. They took the blue pill. That's the difference. Let me let this plane pass. Let's marinate on this. People every day make a choice to ignore the obvious. Every day they wake up, they know they're waking up to some bullshit. But bills need to be paid, right? But at some point, you have to come to the realization, what's more important? Because now, let's talk about the underworld and why the underworld exists. Because this is where I'm going with this. What's the solution? This is what it means to be an outlaw. This is what it means to live by the rules and regulations of I self, law and master, Islam. I self, law and master means I, myself, am the lawmaker and the master of my reality. I don't give a fuck about rules, regulations, constitutions, declarations of independence. Because we know that the people who place these things in power or in motion don't follow their own rules and regulations, or we wouldn't have the type of things going on that we see every day. Right? Innocent people wouldn't be getting killed and nobody goes to jail. Right? None of these things that we see happening would be happening if it was just. So, we must understand where we are. Wisdom heals all of this. To be wise in your understanding of your own power. Using your own power wisely. Because when we are connected with the spirit, or when you know who you are, whatever terminology you want to use, when you know what the deal is, let's go into what power is before we go further. Because we know to be wise in your clarity of thinking empowers you. But what does power really mean? What does that mean to empower yourself? What do you do now? Let's just say you know who you are. What does that mean? Okay, let's give an example. Let's just say you did find out that you are indeed from this country and you have origins in this country. Do you think somebody's going to give you some money for that? Or in other words, do you think we're going to receive reparations for all the bullshit that has occurred? Absolutely not. And it's because nobody is at fault because we allowed it. We must always remember, if you don't remember nothing else, remember that it was allowed. Nobody did anything that was not allowed. Such as, we can't complain about the system when we clock into the system every day because we know what we're getting ourselves into. Now, we can say shit should be better or shit should change, but we know what we are. This is not the place of heaven. This is a place of hell. We are here to master hell, to ascend to the heavenly realms. In order to ascend to the heavenly realms in your mind, to have divine thought, to be in your divine mind, to manifest straight out of thought, you have to not only know who you are, but have a mission and a purpose. It's not enough to know who you are. What are you going to do with that knowledge? Just not spread your truth, or you're going to spread your truth. Whatever that truth may be. It may be spiritual principles. However you want to look at it. But we have to take responsibility and be accountable for the part we play. Let's not even talk about the ancestors no more. Let's not talk about that things had to be signed over. The land had to be signed over. There was paperwork done and the land was signed over. You can say, if anybody sold anybody out, we sold ourselves out. Let's not blame nobody else at this point. Let's not blame nobody else for how this shit is. We have to take responsibility. It's our own fault. But by us taking responsibility, we know how to navigate out of it because we're not looking at them or somebody in a position of power to do something for us. We're not looking for help. We're not looking for outside help. We know that we must empower ourselves. There's no help coming other than us manifesting our truth in the here and now. Fuck the future generation. What are we doing right now? Fuck the past generation. What are we doing now? What battles do we have to face right in front of us? But we're too worried about the future or too caught up in the past to not take responsibility for the here and now. Now you can say, there are people actively doing things to change things. Like there are people who are trying to get certain laws passed. So there's people in the field doing actual shit, trying to get laws passed, or there's people protesting. There's people who are starting businesses and who has detached from the matrix and that live their truth and that stand for something. But it's not on a collective level. But that's nothing wrong with that either, because it's not supposed to be. Because too many of us have sold out already, and that's the truth. There will never be a collective uprising because it's too many titles, right? That's wisdom. Wisdom is understanding that this shit is not for everybody. I don't need to go stand on no fucking corner and speak no truth to nobody who's not already in tune, because if you was truly already in tune, we will already be in sync. Now we're talking about the mind power. If people really thought similar, we will already be in tune. You wouldn't be over there and I'm over here. We would be together because our minds are aligned. So it don't matter. There's not going to be no uprising for nothing. Nothing will change because we are here to master hell. The realm of hell, mastery of it. But if you don't master hell, hell holds you down. So we're talking about ascension, we're talking about levitation, we're talking about anything spiritual. We have to rise above this hell realm to even access the spiritual centers. To even have a spiritual experience, you must be light enough to the point where your body just raises naturally. Not physically raises, but your mentality rises naturally. Nobody wants to hear this though, right? But somebody got to tell you the fucking truth. Somebody got to let you know. There's no help coming. We are in hell and we're not changing. We're not going anywhere. And the only way to escape, the only way to not get trapped into the matrix is to ascend beyond the matrix, not to change the matrix. We will not change the matrix because we didn't create the matrix, or did we? Because if we did, that's even more of a reason to why we should master it. Let's just say we are the creators and they are the inheritors of the matrix. Because some people have that perspective. We created it, but they inherited it and took it over, and now they have rulership. If you take that stance, it's still the same conclusion. We must master hell. We must master the underworld. Nobody wants to hear this though, right? Nobody wants to hear about you need to master the underworld. Everybody's trying to get rich. Everybody's trying to be an entrepreneur. Ain't nobody trying to master no underworld. We ain't got time for that. We got to pay bills. We ain't got time to do all this shit. But that type of thought doesn't help or change anything. To say that I have an excuse for selling out or to not stand on truth. I have an excuse to not stand on my truth. Then if you got bullets coming your way, I'm not going to save you. Because you put yourself in that position. I know that may be a ruthless example, but so be it. If you put yourself in the field, harm may come your way. But when you understand that this is the underworld, you prepare yourself. Because the underworld teaches you self-preservation. The underworld teaches you how to make a living without having to accept bullshit. The underworld allows you to be exactly who you are. The underworld is the spirit realm. The spirit realm is not in the fucking mainstream amongst rich people. If you think for a second that these people have any real knowledge other than deception, You're fooling yourself. You really think that they're standing on absolute truth? No, they're standing on deception, deceiving your motherfucking ass and putting themselves in power. They're not standing on any real truth, because real truth doesn't need to be deceived. You can speak it directly. You don't have to pretend and deceive and lie, cheat, and steal to place yourself in a position of power if you truly have power. So that's the first thing. There is no true power in the Matrix, because the Matrix is a creation. We are minds within this computer stimulation, but we are conscious minds within this computer stimulation. It's because we are conscious minds in this computer stimulation, we can ascend beyond the computer stimulation. That's the whole thing about the soul. That's why you cultivate your soul, so you can transcend. Not to change. Fuck changing the law. Fuck doing something different. Fuck getting a better job. Right? And again, for anybody who's asking questions, I want to lay the foundation. So if you have any questions, I guess give me about 45 minutes. Give me another 10 to 15 minutes. Let me lay down this shit. And the last 15 minutes, it can be question and answer. So just let me lay the foundation down. So that's why I'm not really responding to people. Let me lay it down. I don't want to get sidetracked. Because I know everybody be asking all type of stuff that be happening. All type of stuff are going on in the world. And I understand that. But just let me lay the foundation. Now, as I was saying, the underworld allows you to be true to self. The mainstream does not. Somebody said everything is energy. You are correct in your assessment. Everything is energy, but what is energy? And that's why I say, do not allow these terms to limit you. Everything is energy. But what does that mean? Because they've been saying that shit for hundreds of years now. That ain't that. Einstein was saying that. Right? That was a long time ago. What does it mean now? How does that help us in our understanding? That is the foundation. You must build on everything is energy. What's the next step beyond that? Because we know that truth. And that's what I mean by every truth is a half-truth. Because even knowing that energy is everything will not save you. You can know that truth and it still fuck you over. And that's what I'm talking about. You can know truth and it not help you. And that's when people become bitter and, they start to deter from their lifestyle. Because they feel that they know truth, but they don't see change. Because it's not supposed to change you. Knowing that energy is everything, that's not what changes you. What changes you is you contemplating on that. Right? You need to contemplate on what that really means. That's where the change will come from. Not by you knowing the truth, you must ponder on the truth. And you must actually create original thought. What does that mean? If everything is energy, and yes it is, but do you understand the energy that everything is? Do you have understanding of the energy? You have knowledge, but do you have understanding of the energy? Now somebody say stay optimistic. Now, you could have said that 100 years ago. What's new about staying optimistic? How does that help anybody? Right? Tell a child to stay optimistic and see how much that helps them. Somebody who is not there yet to perceive or to understand what that truly means. Tell somebody who doesn't have understanding to stay positive, stay optimistic. It's not enough. That's my whole thing. It's not enough. Leave these terminologies alone, honestly. How many times we going to say energy is everything? How many times we going to say stay optimistic? We've been saying this shit. And we know this to be yes, you must stay in a positive frame of mind so that you don't become depressed. So I'm not saying what you're saying is incorrect, because what you're saying is very correct. But what I'm saying is it's not enough. Don't leave it there. Use it as a foundation and build upon that. But don't just say stay optimistic. Energy is everything. MC squared. You know what I mean? E equal MC squared. We already know that. But that's not helping us right now. Right? Now somebody says belief. It's all about belief. How does that help you in your situation? Right? This is a challenge to everybody who will see this. To stop saying all these things we've been hearing from other people. Because somebody said that before you said it. Right? Somebody said that before you said it, before you knew it, before you understood it. That was already known. Right? What now? So I challenge everybody. Stop using these truths, these half-truths, to define your reality. Do not define your reality on a half-truth. That will not serve you. Because it don't matter if you don't apply it. Knowing that energy is everything means nothing if you don't go out into that world and apply that. And you make that your truth because you see it and you perceive it with yourself, your own eyes, and with your own situation. It's not enough to say it or to tell somebody that. That's why I'm not here telling y'all, oh, we need to change our energy, we need to do this. No, I'm saying master the underworld. And nobody else is going to tell you that, right? Nobody else is real enough to speak bluntly, I guess. You know what I mean? People trying to get paid. Whatever. You know what I mean? It ain't about none of that shit. See, when you don't have an agenda, you can speak freely. You know what I mean? When you're not concerned with how much I'm going to get paid or who's going to like me, who's going to subscribe, who's going to view, fuck all that. None of that matters. Build upon what you already know. Use what you know as a foundation to build more. Do not be satisfied and content with any information that you think you already know. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Let's be real. You can say there's 1 million people that know the truth. But what is this 1 million people doing? All right? There's a whole conscious community that knows that exact same truth. But what's going on? Are we still in hell? Are we still in the matrix? So what does that do for you? You must know it, you must apply it, and you must understand it. And once you understand it, that's when it becomes a lifestyle. The lifestyle does not come before the understanding. See, the difference between you understanding something and you knowing something is the clarity of it. If you know something, you only know it vaguely. You only know it vaguely. Let's just say you came across some information in a book. You only know it vaguely. You only know based on what somebody else said. That's all you know. But you don't know it to be true for yourself until you go out and apply it. But it's not enough to apply it. You must continuously practice it over and over and over and over again. What they call this a scientific method, you must practice this shit and repeat it over and over and over again. That's how you gain clarity. Because it starts off as a blurry picture, something you just know or heard. And it becomes a clear image in your own head. And that's how you empower yourself. That's the 23 going into the 5. So we don't have to keep it in astrology and numerology. We can take it wherever. Because it's going to end up in the same place. So I know nobody wants to do this, right? I don't want to master the underworld. I want to get paid. I don't want to master the underworld. I want to be mainstream. I want to be famous. I want to be an artist. That's why people go nowhere. Because people talk about ego tripping. Is that not the perfect example of ego tripping? Like, yo, you know what's really going on here. You see the truth. I can get close up to you, motherfucker. You see it in my eyes. I know the truth. You don't hear me talking about this is what I'm trying to do for society. This is what I'm trying to do for the world. I'm just speaking. I'm just sparking thought. You know? You know, somebody's hitting me on Facebook. So, to master the underworld is to master hell. The hell realm. We are here to master hell. Nobody wants to hear that shit, but oh well. We're here to suffer and strife, to ascend beyond it. Because this world, again, how can we say this world is an illusion, but all we care about is money? But we know this world is an illusion, but we're trying to get paid. We're trying to feed our kids. We got bills. But we know all this is fake, though. But this is all we talk about. All right? How does this make any fucking sense? But the only reason it makes sense is because nobody is pondering beyond what somebody else said. That's why it makes sense. Because we're satisfied because somebody else said it, it made sense to us. But did it really make sense to us? You know? Exactly. The steak is not really the steak. The truth is, there is no spoon. You bend yourself. You don't bend the spoon, you bend yourself. Didn't the Matrix tell you that? Letting you know there is no motherfucking spoon. You bend yourself. You master the underworld, not somebody else. You master your truth, not somebody else. You stand in your truth, not somebody else. But everybody's waiting for somebody else to do something, right? That's why we get all in our feelings when catastrophic shit happens, right? When disasters happen, we all in our feelings. But didn't we already know the truth before it happened? We already knew, right? What we in our feelings for? Why we get mad when shit happen if we know it's all illusion? Right? I'm just bringing it to you as I know how to do it. That's all it is. I just got to keep it real. You know what I mean? A lot of people ask me, how do I do what I do? How do I survive and all this shit? Because I've been in the underworld. That's why I'm still here. I'm still here because of the underworld, not because of the mainstream. I'm not a big YouTuber that's making plenty dough. I'm still down here with everybody else. But I'm in the underworld, mastering myself. That's it. That's it. And when you do that, the spirit will come to you and assist you. It's not going to assist you trying to strive to be something you're not. It's not going to help. Or we will see more people doing real shit. Not people just making donations to charities. Fuck a charity. What about you? You're the charity. What about what you have to say? What about the help you can give? But you got kids to take care of, right? You can't help nobody. You got your own problems. You ain't trying to hear none of that bullshit. But this is Maya, though. Oh, it's an illusion, but I don't have time to do anything other than make money and feed my family. But this is an illusion, too. But what thought is given beyond the illusion? Hey, you know what I mean? These are answers we must all answer for ourselves. That's all I'm saying. This ain't to point fingers and to judge people. This is the things that we can contemplate within ourselves. That's all it is. Because if you don't master the underworld, I guarantee your ass will be back here for another ride in reincarnation. Because your soul was never satisfied. Your ego was satisfied, but not your soul. So you will have to repeat this shit again because you didn't fulfill your purpose. Now, some people may say, well, what if my purpose is to be in the mainstream? What is my purpose is to be in the altar? You know? Wait, did I even say that right? I don't know if I said that right. Let me repeat it again just in case I didn't say it right. Some people may say, what if your purpose is to be a part of the mainstream, to be an artist, to be a millionaire? It very well may be, but you must stand on your truth. If you are supposed to be an artist and you are allowed to stand on your truth, so be it. Somebody saying Hennessy, man. What is with that? I just saw some dude. I guess it's a Hennessy dude. Shout out to Harvey J. I was watching his video when he was cooking the chicken and the Hennessy. That shit is hilarious. That shit is hilarious. Like, shout out to Harvey J. I guess they know what I'm talking about, or they may just have been saying Hennessy because they drinking some Hennessy. But shout out to Hennessy regardless. You know. So if anybody got any questions, we got a couple more minutes. I said what I needed to say. So y'all let me know how y'all feeling. Now I'm looking at the comments. So if anybody want to speak, speak. Speak or forever hold your peace. You know? Just in case, here's my notes. Don't worry about reading it, but just let you know I took time to really lay this shit out. Which I normally don't do, but I had to make sure I laid this shit out correctly. So again, shout out to everybody that tuned in, that has enough heart to listen to this half-truth, but make it more for themselves. You know? Somebody asked, will there ever be peace? Only if you channel it. You have to channel peace. You have to bring peace to the world. If you bring peace to the world, it can be peace. But in terms of a world peace, not too sure about that. But that isn't really our issue, right? It's for you to bring clarity to your own understanding, right? Why is it easier to envision negativity than positivity? It's because we are in a negative world. We are in hell. That's why it's easy. You turn on the news, you're going to see some hellish shit. You turn on the TV, you're going to see some violence. You're going to see some fights. You're going to see some guns blowing. Negativity is shoved down our throat to keep us in this violent, fearful state of mind. That the only way for a motherfucker to make it is to pick up a gun or to pick up a dope sack. You know? Or you got to be an entertainer or an athlete. So, they try to tell you what your potential is. But who's telling themselves what their potential is? Have I ever worked with Massive Earth on YouTube? No, I have not. But shout out to homie. You know what I mean? 2020. What changes do I think is coming? 2020. Let's do the numerology. That's the 4, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. We know 4 is culture. 4 is also Rahu. Watch my video on the solar eclipse back in August of 2017. I told you all about the number 4. So if you really want to know what's going on in 2020, study the number 4, study the planet Rahu, and study your culture. Let me see. People blaming me with these questions, but I'm going to make sure I answer all these questions. Don't trip. Let me make sure my battery is good. I got 77%. See, the thing is, you know, I don't stream. I don't stream using the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi isn't fast enough to do the live stream, so I have to use my 4G, and it drains the battery hella quick. So that's why it ends like suddenly sometimes. So apologies to that. But let me answer these questions as quick as I can. Sorry about that. This is all turning. I'm in the washroom. Like, I got the setup. The phone is on the dryer. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to switch it. I'm just trying to switch it up. Okay. What to do when the weed is bad? Stop smoking. Right now, I'm not smoking either. If you ain't smoking that dope, I wouldn't suggest smoking. If you ain't smoking that sticky shit, the shit that stick to your hands, the shit that take you to the astrals, because somebody also asked me, did I have an out-of-body experience? Absolutely. But it took work. It happened after like a 24-hour fast. I had to stop eating for like 24 hours, just strictly drinking water and a mix of a little urine therapy. Nobody wants to hear that, but I'm just telling the truth. So if you want to have a OBE, there's several ways to do it, but you must find your own personal technique, because everything doesn't work for everybody, right? There is no one size fits all scenario when it comes to that, because we all have different motivations and inspirations. So find out what works for you and just go back in the archives and watch my shit, watch everybody else's shit, and construct your own formula. All right? What do I think about writing a book with techniques and experiences? Are you asking me what do I think about writing a book, or the actual idea of writing a book? Because if you ask me, am I writing a book? Absolutely. I write my little 50-page book, put it on Amazon, $2.99, $4.99. I ain't about to write no 200, 300-page book. Ain't nobody got time to read that shit. It's just going to be straight fire, 50 pages. You pay your $3, $3 to $5, and we good, we even, you know? But if you're talking about the actual idea of people writing a book as a whole, I encourage everybody to share their truth. I encourage everybody to share their truth. So if you are a writer, if you skilled with that pen, as I know a lot of you are skilled with the pen, use that pen and channel that information needed for not only yourself, but everybody around you. Okay? Let me keep going here. Word. You say mastering the underworld starts with mastering the dark side of the mind. Exactly, because a couple videos ago I was talking about the shadow, right? Or maybe it was last video. I don't know. Watch my recent video. That's why I try not to make them so long, so that you can just get the jewels and go about your day. You know what I mean? Because you may not want to watch that 3-hour video or that 1.5-hour video. But definitely, I talked about the shadow a couple videos ago. So yes, mastering the underworld does include working with your shadow that I just spoke about recently. So just go back a couple videos and learn about what the shadow is. Let's see. I want your perspective on the special ego of Aries spoken by the astrologer Dennis Eglinson. I have no idea what that is. So I couldn't give you my perspective. I have no idea what that is. But enlighten me to what that is, and I can speak on it. But as of now, I have no idea what that is. Can you talk about Sophia and the demiurge? Absolutely. For those who may not know what that is, study Gnostic thought if you want to know about Sophia and the demiurge. But briefly, you can say the demiurge is the power behind the fuckery, the matrix. You can say the demiurge constructed the matrix. Sophia constructed the matrix. But Sophia, you can say, is very sadistic. Sophia likes carnage. Sophia likes this hell realm. That's why we are in such a low vibrational realm, because the demiurge, this is what it thrives from: violence, manipulation, lies, deception, so on and so forth. So what powers up the demiurge or the Sophia is the fuckery. That's why they constantly push the fuckery to you, because it gives power to the demiurge. So if you want to rise above the demiurge, you must change the way your mind moves. Not just strictly your thoughts, but change the way your mind moves. And if you don't know what I'm saying, then continue to study. Let's see. Want to do a video on entrepreneurship? I can definitely do a video on entrepreneurship, but I feel I would like to be thorough in a video like that, because it is, it's a thing where you have to do more than talking. I definitely want to show and prove that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I want to make sure that I position myself correctly before I start telling people how to get their business on point. Let me get my business on point, so that you can say, okay, he know what the fuck you talking about. Because if I'm talking about getting your business on point, but my shit ain't on point, don't make sense. So I'm going to work on me so I can be an example of that. Then I can write the book or make the video. But as of now, we still up and coming. We still in the making. So that'll be something in the future once we continue to manifest and once we gain more and more momentum. So that definitely will come in the future. But as of now, you know, we working. So I want people to use my channel and see what's been going on so you can see like, yo, he's real about what he's talking about and he showed and proved. That's what it's all about. You see me from all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. I'm showing and proving. I'm not just talking from a garage. You know what I mean? You didn't see me in these streets. People that met me for real. You know what I mean? So, nonetheless, we don't need to dwell on that. We don't need to dwell on that. Peace, peace. Supreme mathematics, absolutely. You know what I mean? Shout out to the 5%. The guys in Earth, you know what I mean? That's my foundation, just in case y'all don't know. So I'm not just saying that like I got this shit from the internet. I got it like it was supposed to be got from the direct source. You know, somebody who was in the culture just as well as I was. So this ain't no internet shit. That's why I can speak about it fluently. Because it took me a whole year to master that. I went through that fire to earn that. So I suggest everybody else to go through that fire because I know how it feels to go through the fire. I'm not a person that never experienced it. Now, you can get on the internet nowadays and search supreme mathematics and all that, but you can get it from somebody who walks the path too. So I encourage, if you find it interesting, find somebody who walks the path. Don't just be limited to the internet. Go around somebody who can show and prove and who can bring it to life right in front of your eyes. Don't just limit yourself to the internet. You know what I mean? If you were to die, have 5 minutes left, what would you like to pass on to a student of truth? If I have 5 minutes, I would say master yourself. That's it. There's nothing to do but to master yourself. There's nothing else to do. So if I had 5 minutes, I would tell them, master yourself. How do you master yourself? Be the master of the underworld, of the subconscious, of the Osiris, of the Asar. Perfect your sorcery, because that's what makes us different than everybody else, is because we have the ability to perfect our sorcery and use it for truth and not deception. Perfect your sorcery. Our natural talents, our natural abilities, our spiritual awarenesses. Open up your 6 and 7 senses. Be intuitive. Open up yourself to spirit. Instead of being so open to this world and so open to seize an opportunity to make some money. Seize the opportunity to fuck with these spirits because they definitely fucking. You know, if you can even catch what I mean. Definitely shout out to urine therapy. Definitely urine therapy will open up these spiritual centers, but everybody ain't got enough bravery to drink their own urine. Like, this is only for a chosen few, so it is what it is. Somebody said sperm therapy. If you got enough heart. That's all I got to say. Like, I kind of don't even want to talk about urine therapy and all that because motherfuckers ain't got enough balls. So until I start seeing motherfuckers doing this shit, it ain't no point in me talking about it. Show and prove. Show and prove. Then we can expand on that. We can expand on it. Somebody said they tried it before. How did it benefit me? It benefited me. It opened up my 6th and 7th psychic centers. I was able to go directly into the dream world without having to go to sleep first. If you want an example, I was able to project myself, my consciousness, into the dream world or the astral plane without having to be asleep. And I got to wake up and try to figure out where the fuck I am. I projected. So when you open up your psychic centers, you can project yourself to other places. And I'll just leave it at that. If you want to know more, you do the work. You got to keep doing. You got to keep going. Can you speak on manifesting with sexual energy? Of course. Oh man, I'm trying to keep this shit. You see, this phone is sliding all over the place. Let me fix the angles. Alright. Somebody said, how can you manifest using sexual energy? Now, it depends on how brave you are. it depends on how brave you are, first and foremost. Now, of course, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. If you want to use sexual energy to manifest, which we do anyway, I would say use unking. Unking. If you don't know what unking is, do your research. Study unking. And just briefly, is raising the sexual energy up to each chakra and purifying all of your chakras. So you're using the sex force as your foundation to purify all of your chakras, to use that raw force and to raise it up. And it's going to purify everything in this path. So to give you insight, study Anking. Ankhying. So if you really want to know about that sexual force, study Anking. And of course, Tantra. You know, if you're into the Hindu thing. But Anking, that's a reference for you. Use that reference. Let's see. When did I awaken? Somebody asked, when did I awaken? In 2009. 2009. That's when shit got real. I can tell you, okay. I can briefly tell you how it happened for me. I've said it before, but for those who may not have heard it, I can repeat it here. 2009, doing regular shit like regular motherfuckers do. My grandfather had became sick, and my grandmother had to take care of him. So my mother didn't feel that my grandmother was doing an adequate job of doing so. So she sent me over there, like, yo, make sure everything is good. I'm like, we don't really know where her state of mind is. She's older too. So just go over there and make sure everything is smooth. So while I'm over there, I didn't even want to go. I remember this. I didn't want to go. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with my grandma. Everything is good. But I went nonetheless. And while I was there, and this is also the last time I seen them alive. That's why it's significant to me as well. This is the last time I seen them alive. But I was just watching TV. You know, I'm just flicking through the channels. And I saw a documentary. It was a yogi. I don't remember this yogi's name. But it was the yogi who was the teacher of the Beatles. So if you want to find out his name, he was a yogi that taught transcendental meditation. His name is 2 M's. His first name begins with an M. His last name begins with an M. I don't remember the exact name, but just study the yogi or the guru of the Beatles, and you can find out who he is. So I'm just flicking through the channels, and his documentary comes on, and it was talking about transcendental. No, that's not the word. Nonetheless, let's not ponder on that. So I actually sat there and I watched the whole thing. I took notes. I went home and I did research and I began to meditate. When I began to meditate, it changed my life. Things that used to stress me no longer stress me. I stopped eating meat. You know what I mean? Like, I started going through what everybody else starts to go through. So my origins is, I feel it was a gift. It was a last gift from my grandparents before they passed on. They passed on a little bit later. But that was like the last time I seen them. So, and that's what happened. I feel like they transferred that energy to me. That's how I feel. But to each his own. But to answer the question, that's my origins, 2009. You know? All right. Battery is good, so I can keep answering these questions. Hold on. Appreciate everybody tuning in once again. Shout out to all the mature adults. And even the teenagers. I know there'll be some teenagers checking out my shit. You know what I mean? You getting it young. I got it when I was a teenager too. So, you know what I mean? You can look at where this may get you. You know, it just depending. Everybody don't like the underworld though. You know, everybody ain't that brave. So, is Sophia attached to Lilith energy? Not necessarily, because if you look up Sophia is more like a great mother energy, like Newt. Whereas Lilith is like the underworld queen. So, it just depends on how you want to look at it. Again, there's many different variations of this. But I would say if you want to work with that darker energy, work more so with Lilith than Sophia. Sophia is more like a pure energy. But in terms of the demiurge, you can say, yeah, Lilith is more so in that realm. That's why when you work with so-called demons or so-called bad spirits or negative spirits or basically just powerful energies that most people can't handle, that's really all it is, just powerful energies that most people can't handle. They speak truth, but you have to be able to contain the energy. You have to be able to say, well, not to say, but to be able to endure what's being said. And again, I know about Lilith, trust me. I've been at Devil's Gate. I've been in that motherfucker. I haven't a direct experience with Lilith. I know people who have had direct experiences with Lilith. So I know about the Lilith from a direct experience, but I wouldn't recommend it for most people because I don't want people to fuck their life up not having enough understanding of what's going on. You must be able to tame chaos. If you want to fuck with Lilith. You want to fuck with Lilith, you better tame some chaos. Because Lilith is all about chaos. Trust and believe. You know, I can't say it no other than that. But shout out to Lilith. If you can tame that chaos, she is the bitch to know. That's all I got to say. Alright? 888. You know what I mean? I'm seeing all these 8s. 888. Shout out to 888. I see y'all. I see you. Okay? A lot of people are asking me to do meetups. And I would say, y'all let me know where the fuck y'all are. This is what it is. I would say, if I can get at least 20 people in any given city, then I'm coming out. 20 people, let me know y'all fuck with me. And trust me, I can come out and I can show myself. And we can have a conversation, we can do whatever, we can organize an event, however y'all want to do it. But if I got 20 people, y'all let me know. And I'll pull up. But you going to be ready for what's to come, right? So if you fuck with me, let me know you fuck with me. Yeah, but definitely, if you want to know about the demiurge and all that, study the Gnostic teachings. A good book to study is the Gnostic. Study the Gnostic by Jarquis something, whatever. But study that book, the Gnostic, if you want to know more about the demiurge. Somebody said they started watching in May. I was homeless in LA. In May, I believe I may have been in New York in May. I think I may have been in New York. But yes, you are right though. 2017, I did that 90-day homeless challenge. For those who may not know, I did, because, you know, on my images, you know, I cover up my images is because it's only for certain people. I don't need to let everybody know what I've done. Is you got to go back and you got to see for yourself if you care enough. But you will see, like, I didn't show it improved. But yeah, I did that 90-day homeless challenge last year. And go back and watch it and see how I conquered that shit. You know what I mean? I conquered that shit and I showed you how to do it. You know what I mean? I took y'all through the whole steps. So, for those who are interested in that, if you give a fuck, then you got it. You know, go find it. You got to find it. Just watch my live streams. Ever since I began live streaming, that's all it is. Start with the 4 Aeons video. Go down my list and start with the videos titled The 4 Aeons. And watch from there. That's all 2017. You ain't got to watch nothing before that if you don't want to. But if you want plus lessons, keep watching before that. But for those who really just want to know, who want to get up to speed to what's really been going on, start with the 4 Aeons. Because that video is, if you don't have a foundation, start with that video to understand what's really going on out here. The 4 Aeons, if you haven't already seen it. You know? You dig that I understand Gnosticism? We're worldwide people. We can't be limited to no one singular way of thought. So I study everything. I have encyclopedias on deities and all that. I study everything from around the world. But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be Renaissance men and women, universal with our knowledge. That's what we're supposed to be, or strive to be a polymath. If y'all even know what that is, to be a polymath. That's what I strive to be. If you can even relate. Alright? Somebody said I look like shit. That's what happens when you go off of no sleep. I'm busy, man. I'm busy. I can't sleep. I got things that I need to set in place, so I can't sleep. So forgive the appearance, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? You just got to deal with it, yo. Sex with demons, you know. So I try to not to lead people astray, but it seemed like motherfuckers they trying to get their feet wet. So if you tough, if you brave, if you really trying to work with spirits directly, especially darker spirits or more powerful or more ancient spirits, then you got to be true. You got to be true to yourself. If you really want to deal with dark energy don't like fake shit. That's how it is in the streets. You better not come fake. You better be real. It's the same shit. If you wouldn't do it in the streets, then don't do it in the spirit realm. It's as simple as that. You want to respect yourself at all times, and you want to give respects to the spirits. It just is what it is. You give respect so you can get respect. So if you respect the energy will respect you. But if you come at the energy trying to manipulate it, trying to deceive, trying to get something out of it, trying to extract something from it, and don't want to give back, you're going to run into problems. That's why people get fucked up. That's why people work with spirits and demons and they fuck their life up. It's because their intentions was fuckery. Fuck shit. That's why they get fucked up. They're doing it for shallow reasons. And the spirit looking like, you're just trying to use me like a bitch. We're going to see who the bitch is. That's just all it is. And that's exactly how it is in real life too. If a motherfucker see that you're trying to manipulate them, they will start to twist it so that you end up getting fucked over. But that's just life. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? So let me keep going. Now some people saying some stupid ass shit. I don't know. But I don't feel like blocking nobody, so y'all continue to say that shit. I'm just going. Like people saying they into rape. What you coming here for, man? This has nothing to do with rape. But if you into that, then you know, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Just do it the natural way, you know. Go up, approach women, say something, you know, get you some pussy. You know, do it the natural way. You know, you ain't gotta use force, yo. Somebody said they read. Basically, they're talking about the breath in the top chakras. That's what I told. I believe I said it last video. 4 breaths per 60 seconds. If you can master that. If you can master breathing 4 times every 60 seconds, a full inhale, you hold it, and a full exhale. So that 4 seconds, 4 breaths, full breaths every 60 seconds, you know, you can get into that delta state, if you even know what that is. But we'll keep it right there. You know what I mean? Somebody said, well, I see you, Mercedes. What if you want to be a Nephilim fairy? Go to the spirit realm and do that shit. See, this is the thing. We have a split personality. We have our waking life, then we have our spiritual life. If you want to be more in tune with the spiritual life, you must do spiritual work. If you want to be a Nephilim fairy, do spiritual work so that you can open yourself up to that realm and master that realm. Not just be open to, oh, I have knowledge of this realm. No, you want to practice in that realm. And you want to have clarity while you're in that realm. And you want to be inspired when you're in that realm. And you want that realm to influence you even in this life. So don't just leave it in the spirit realm. Bring that energy down here so it helps you in this realm too. So all your spiritual work should translate into the physical realm and help you out. So that's what I mean. You got to have clarity in the spirit realm. Have clarity. But you got to do that work. You know what I mean? Somebody said, do I want any kids? I have kids. You know what I mean? Like I have kids. And they're no joke. So for all my people who don't have kids yet, do not rush into having kids. But for those who do have kids and who are, they're teaching their kids, the proper way to be taught, homeschooling, and even if they send them to public school, they come home and they teach them the real shit. Shout out to you. Shout out for bringing up the future generation with some type of knowledge that you didn't have. Because your parents may have been religious and, not into any of this stuff. So shout out to you bringing up the future with proper knowledge. And for those who don't want to do that, shout out to you as well. For people that don't want kids, shout out to you as well. Because that's, we know what we are. So I don't judge. If you don't want kids, I understand. If you do want kids, I understand. But shout out to the parents and the future parents and the people that will never be parents. Shout out to you, motherfuckers. You probably don't get a lot of love, but shout out to the people that don't want to be parents too, because I understand your plight. So if nobody else show you love, I show you love. You know what I mean? So, okay. Do we need to go any further? I think I answered all these questions. Okay, no, I have another question. What's the best way to start your spiritual journey? Fulfill one of your fantasies. What do I mean by that? Everybody has fantasies, right? Fulfill a fantasy. Fulfill a fantasy, something that's been in your mind. Materialize an idea that's been roaming around in your mind. Fulfill your fantasy so that you prove to yourself that it's real. And that's what I did. Because when I was in Detroit, because I was born in Detroit, when I was in Detroit, I wanted to go to LA. I didn't have no money though. I didn't know how I was going to get there. But I had it in here, and I started working this shit with the meditation and concentration and just focusing my mind and completely just blocking out this physical shit, Maya, and started utilizing my mind. And guess what? You see me. You see me in LA, right? But before all that, it was just a thought. That's it. It started with a thought, and I concentrated and compressed that thought. And it became real. So, fulfill your fantasy so that you know it's real. And once you know it's real, it's all about perfecting your craft after that. Once you know it's real, just perfect your craft. But you must prove to yourself that it's real. Because if you don't have that experience, then you're going to be chasing something you never had. So make sure you fulfill your fantasies so that you know it's real. So for example, let's just say, let's just say you're a guy and you feel that the only way for you to fuck a bad bitch, quote unquote, or basically a bitch that works with Lilith, these Lilith hoes, the avatars of Lilith on Earth, if you can even handle that shit, you need to fuck with them. If you can get one of them, you know it's real. But you must be spiritually powerful because they're going to drain your energy. But that's what they're supposed to do. Because you are supposed to be a source of energy. So if they want to drain it, you need to have energy to drain. Now, they can say, well, why do I want people draining my energy? When you build up your energy, you don't give a fuck about who's trying to drain your energy. You freely give it because you have an abundance to give. That's all it is. So to start your spiritual journey, fulfill your fantasies and make this shit real to you first and build from that foundation of solid, factual experience. Lilith is like Kali? Absolutely. Absolutely. Chaos in what form? Complete madness. So if you want to deal with chaos, it's like being a madman trying to live in a sane world. Sounds familiar though, right? Being a madman or a mad woman trying to survive in a sane world. That's the chaos. You're trying to make sense of something that is senseless. Is that not what we are doing here? All right? Let's keep going. Shout out Chicago. Shout out Chicago. Y'all already know what it is. RIP, Fred Joe Santana. You know what I mean? Shout out to Chicago. The south side, the north side, the east side, west side. Fuck with Chicago heavy because Chicago fuck with Detroit. You know, so I show love where they show me love. The East Coast show love. Shout out to Philly, New York. You know what I mean? I fuck with New York. They were showing heavy love. Of course, LA. You know what I mean? Houston. Everybody, you know, everybody. New Orleans, Louisiana, everybody. Peace, God. Peace, God. You know what I mean? Cali, Cali, Cali. Okay. Let's see. I think that's everything. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett. Somebody put Bobby Hemmett in the comments. If you shout out to Bobby Hemmett, hopefully his health is good. I remember a couple years ago when he first, when they was putting up the donation links, I definitely sent them something. You know what I mean? Because he gave back. So definitely shout out to the greats. Shout out to the greats. Shout out to Panic too. Phil Valentine, all the greats, people that laid down the foundation. You know what I mean? Everybody else, who spread the knowledge too. Shout out to everybody else. Everybody who's my age, spitting this shit, shout out to you. You know what I mean? It's all love. It's all love. Let's see. We're getting further and further. I don't know how far back I'm in these comments. Have I heard of Dr. D. Martin? I have not. Who is that person? Who is Dr. D. Martin? Let's see. Good. I appreciate everybody for sticking with me. I know this. Let me just make this thing. Like I don't have to make videos, with the camera, with my phone. Like I still got my camera. Like for everybody who used to watch my videos in like 2015 when I was putting a lot of work into my videos, I could still do that, but it'd be taking too long. So I just want to make sure on an everyday basis I get it out. So I just set this up and just do it. But I can be professional. I still got the professional mic and all that. It just takes a lot of time to do all that. That's all it is. So appreciate everybody for bearing with me through these technical difficulties. But as we continue to go along, you're going to see shit getting better. Best believe. Okay. Let's see. Somebody asked, can I talk about the subconscious? In what way? What about the subconscious? That's a big ass topic. So what exactly about the subconscious? Let me know what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely shout out everybody asking these good ass questions, you know what I mean? You bring it out of me. Somebody asked, do I do personal consultations? Absolutely. Just hit up my email, lordasar@gmail.com. LORDASAR. If you want readings, consultations, anything you need, I got it. Simple as that. So anything pertaining to this knowledge shit, esoteric shit, just hit my line. You know what I mean? We good. Let me know what the deal is. Let's see. You know what I mean? I don't know how far back. People just started crazy comments. I don't know how far back. Do I believe that your life is a reflection of the energies you're operating in? To a certain extent. What I mean by that is your life is a reflection of the energies around you, but to a certain extent, because we still know that we're in Maya, and that's my whole point. Because that's what people like to say. Like, if you're in a bad situation, change it. Think different. Yes, you should. But it ain't that fucking simple. And we all know that. It ain't that simple. Because we still in Maya. So even if you change your household, do you change the problems of the world? So what? You know what I mean? Or you don't deal with annoying people anymore. You still in hell. We still got work to do. So the energies are a reflection of you. But we still got work to do. You know what I mean? So let's just say your life is in shambles. It's not necessarily that your thoughts are just completely fucked up. It's just that you still have work to do. That's all. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's just not be too hard on yourself. That's all it is. Don't be too hard on yourself. Allow yourself to walk your path. You know what I mean? Walk your path regardless of what your path is. All right? Somebody said they're coming to LA. Shout out to LA. Even though right now I'm in Vegas. I'm not even in LA. But shout out to LA. LA is a very spiritual city. I think I did plenty of videos, but I'm not sure. Okay. Y'all, people having a whole conversation. I just step off and just let people have a conversation. Motherfuckers still talking about Lilith, but shout out to Lilith. But that just let you know, if you brave enough, fuck with that Lilith energy because it is real. It is a real energy. It is real. I felt it. As everybody else who's talking about this shit, they know what it is too. So to each his own. Or work with the angels if you're a little bit more lighthearted. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So this is not anti-angel. Don't get it twisted. It's not anti-angel just because I'm talking about demons. Work with what you comfortable with. You know what I mean? So it ain't no anti-this, pro-this. It's work with whatever energies or spirits that you feel comfortable with and continue to expand even with energy that you may not be comfortable with. Somebody said I don't recommend working with her if you're a straight dude. I mean, I don't think your sexuality has anything to do with it. But if you feel that's the case, then I wouldn't suggest you work with it. But it is a highly sexual energy. So I would say I don't think you're, whether you straight or gay, whatever the fuck that means. Like I don't even deal with titles like that. I don't even deal with titles like that because it's not the whole story. What do I mean by that? Meaning you're only getting half of the truth. Like there's different levels of gay. There's different levels of straight. Like it's not just cut and dry. Either you like dudes or you like women. Well, that's not the world we live in now. It ain't that cut and dry no more. It used to be, but it's not. It's various variations. Like some dudes feel they're women. That makes you gay? I thought gay was because you were attracted to men. What about the men that feel they're women? Is that still gay? Who knows? I'm not here to say what is or what isn't. But I'm just saying I don't really deal with the titles. We in a different world. Things are not just as cut and dry as they used to be. You know what I mean? So, but to each his own. I'm not for it or against it. Not for it or against it. Walk your path in your light and stand in your own truth. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? Somebody said they're part vampire. Shout out to you. You part Nephilim. You know what I mean? If you know your history, you know what I'm talking about. So shout out to you if you know your history. ANC Love, what is that? North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope Bobby's good too. I don't think he ever do another lecture, but he's chilling. He put in his work. So definitely shout out to Bobby Hemmett once again. And for those who don't know who Bobby Hemmett is, get familiar. But of course, we should all know who that is. But everybody can't sit through a 6-hour lecture. You know what I mean? So everybody don't know the intricate details. You know what I mean? All right. We appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for sticking in. I appreciate everybody asking questions. Y'all sticking with me. Through the ups, the downs, I know every video isn't the best, but y'all know I'm gonna come with the heat eventually. So you have to sit through some crinks, but then we gonna get on our shit. All right. Hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Let's see. So I got a little time on my hands. Let me make sure my battery is good though. The battery is good, so I can answer some more questions. Keep these motherfuckers coming if y'all want to know. Whatever y'all want to know. All right. How does one begin to see past their self-deceptions? Yes. How does one begin to see past their self-deceptions? Well, you have to first see past the deception of the world. Because the world is deceiving you, you don't even see yourself in your true form. So that's the first thing. And that's, if we go back to the very first point I made, because we are in this type of world, you're not supposed to know who you are. You're supposed to not be able to see past your self-deception. You're supposed to not be able to see past your own subconscious influences. But that's why you empower yourself with this knowledge and apply it. So if you want to see past it, you must study, work, with Osiris, study the subconscious mind, apply the information that you know, and gain clarity so that you see it, you can see yourself clearly. Most of us do not see ourselves clearly. Most of us are walking around here like shadows. We don't see the light within our own self. So if you want to see your own light, you must ignore the light of the outside so that the light on the inside can flourish. That's all it is. Fuck the outside light, go into the inside and bring that light from within yourself. But you can't focus on the physical world to do that. You must take that journey of the soul. Soul travel. It's not enough to astral travel, soul travel. All right? Peace, Otep. You know, it's good. Is there any correspondence between Kali and Aquarius? It depends on what type of correspondence you're talking about. Because Kali is more, I don't want to say destructive. She's just a little wild, little kinky, bloodthirsty bitch. And Aquarius is more like, you know, a celestial woman, like the so-called Sophia, the motherly goddess. But there may be a connection. You tell me. If there is a connection, that'll be something that you can reveal to us. But just on the surface, no. But if you dig a little deeper, I'm sure there is, for you to even be asking that question. So I would say you find that out and you see what it means to you. Vedic or Western astrology? Okay, it's a pretty tough question. Vedic or Western? Start with Western, then move to Vedic once you have a basic understanding of astrology. Use Western astrology for the basics, then Vedic astrology is like advanced courses. So start off with Western so you can get familiar with the terminology. And once you're familiar with the terminology, move over to Vedic. And that's going to give you deeper insight into the thing that you wouldn't know otherwise just dealing with Western. Because the Western is simplified astrology. Vedic is advanced astrology. So the Vedic astrology goes a little deeper than the Western. Not that the Western is wrong, not that the Western is bad. It's just simplified. It's there to open up the door to astrology so you can have a basic understanding. But after that, you can move on to Vedic and get those advanced lessons for those who have a love interest for astrology and for divination and all the dark arts. You know, your witchcraft, your sorcery. Shout out to all the necromancers, you know. Thoughts on Organite? Definitely fuck with that. You know what I mean? Orgone energy, Organite, crystals, and all that. If you have any spiritual tools, use them. Use them for whatever purpose they have. So you know, whatever you are drawn to, there's a reason. Now, I personally don't work with crystals anymore, but that's where I started. I started with crystals. I didn't necessarily end with crystals, but I started there to build up a basic understanding of why these energies work, how they work, what the influences are, how can I enhance it. Then I moved on to, you know, doing sigils and symbols and working with spirits directly, dream work, dream yoga, so on and so forth. So start with the earth, but end up in the celestial realm, if you can understand that. Start with the earth, end in the stars. You know, keep it basic. Somebody said throw your planets up. That's funny, you know what I mean? But we can throw it up. Shout out to Pluto. Shout out to Mars. You know what I mean? You already know what it is. For those who know the correspondences between the planets and the signs, you should have a basic understanding. This is basic information. I'll say this. The bare minimum you should know is about the 12 zodiac signs, the 7 planets, and the 3 mother letters or the 3 elements. Or in other words, the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot. You should at least know that much. The planets, the zodiac signs, and the elements. You should at least, with that, you can go everywhere with just that basic understanding. That's it. The elements, the planets, and the zodiac signs. That should be your basic foundation. And from there, you can understand everything else because everything will break down into an element. Everything will break down into a planet. Everything can be broken down to a zodiac sign. So that those 22 correspondences are the map of the whole universe. It's like on a tree of life. You have 22 paths. Those 22 paths correspond with the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot. So, for those who may not understand that terminology, get familiar. For those who know exactly what I'm talking about, keep going deeper. You know? What is the beginning of the universe look like to you? If there was a beginning, no beginning, no ending, man. No beginning, no ending. No beginning, no ending. That's it. There is no origin. It just always was. And I know that's hard to contemplate. That, what do you mean there was no origin? So how did shit get here? Shit has always been here. Like, to understand this simply is there is no time and there is no space. That's an illusion of Maya. Once we go past an illusion, we know how everything has always been here because we don't look at the world in this particle form. We look at the world from its wave form. So when you look at things as waves instead of particles, because yes, if you look at particles, you can say, well, everything that is material has a beginning. But the universe didn't start off material and will not end material. So you can say, some people say the earth is X amount of billions of years old, the universe is X amount of billion years old. That's just the current universe. You can say that's the physical universe. But that's not the universe that we're talking about. That's just the physical composition of the universe. But the universe is also existing in an unseen form that we don't perceive with our eyes. And that form has no beginning and no ending. Hopefully that makes sense. Get this angle straight, alright? Can I do a video on Vedic astrology? That'll be something I would have to actually do a whole course. I would have to do a whole course on Vedic astrology because it's not easy. It's not easy to grasp, especially if you don't have no prior knowledge of astrology. It's not the easiest thing to grasp because it's a different language. So you're going to be using terminology that is not English because you're dealing with a different language. You're dealing with a different culture. So that is something you kind of have to. That's what I mean. Start with Western astrology. If you can understand Western, you can understand Vedic. But even then, there's still a learning curve. For example, for those who know about astrology, there's 12 houses in Western astrology. There's 27 in Vedic astrology. So just to give you some insight, 12 houses in Western, 27 in the Vedic. And of those 27 houses, they all have 4 modes. So you do the math on that. So it ain't just you're in a house of Libra or the house of Leo or the house of Aquarius. No, you may be in a house of something in the quarter of something. Way more advanced. That's what I'm saying. So it ain't just a house. You may be in a house, but you in a certain section of the house. So within those 27 houses, each of those 27 houses got 4 sections. So you do the mathematics on that. And you tell me if you're ready for it. Shout out to you. Somebody said, I am not the same. I enjoy being a part of it. My fiance and I have been rocking with you for a minute now. Shout out to the couples that fuck with me. It's a lot of people, they put me on to their husband or wives or whatever. Shout out to everybody who really serious about this knowledge. I appreciate everybody who can collectively come and listen and to gain information. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate everybody. How can I use my music? What do you mean, how can you use it? What do you want to put out the music or to influence yourself? You let me know what you mean by that. How do I bring more people to me to help them to help them when I am getting over insecurity. Let me read that again. You may have made a typing error, but I think I think I get what you're saying. How do I bring more people to me to help them when I'm getting over insecurity? Okay. If you're dealing with magnetism, so first and foremost, if you want to attract more people to you or more relationships, work with the energy of Libra, because that's what Libra does. And that's why I say learn the planets, learn the zodiac signs, and learn the elements so that you can know where to direct your energy for a particular purpose. So if you want to build up your networks and your friendships, you work with the energy of Libra. How do you work with the energy of Libra? You study the energy of Libra and you see how to apply that energy in your life. We are all Libra. See, that's the thing. I'm not just talking about people's sun signs. We are all of the signs, all 13, because some people don't factor in that 13th. But I know about that 13th sign too, Ophiuchus. We are all the zodiac signs, we are all the planets, and we are all the elements. So we can work with any of these energies because they all exist within us. So if you want to increase your friendships, bring out that Libra energy from within yourself. Some people do it working with an altar. Use an altar and have something that symbolizes Libra. You can do whatever you want. There is no right or wrong way, but bring the energy of Libra outside of yourself to increase your magnetism to attract relationships. And you can apply that for every zodiac sign, every planet, every element. Everything can be broken down to one of those. So once you can break it down to one of those, you know where to go from there. When was the first time I casted a spell? I would say 2013. Yeah, 2013. 2013 is when I did. No. Actually, 2013 isn't when I did my first ritual. I did my first ritual, and I believe 2011. 2011 is when I started doing rituals, like working with spirits, lighting candles, chanting, and writing petitions and all that. Like 2011, somewhere around there. Somebody said, do we manifest our parents? We manifest the vessels that we come through. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're related to your parents. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is some of us may have parents that we just don't fucking relate to at all. And we thinking, how did I even come from you? We don't get along, we don't relate, but that's sometimes we use certain people as a vessel. It may be because of their genetics. It may be because of your destiny and the path you have to walk. But regardless of the case, we do manifest the vessels we come through. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, we will understand the vessels that we come through. But in terms of why we came through certain vessels, who knows? Again, it could be genetics. It can be a certain path. So do we manifest the vessels that we come through? Absolutely. But, we can go into deeper reasons why that is, but I'm pretty sure y'all can understand that. Recommended reading on numerology. So you're asking, do I recommend a numerology reading? Or what numerology reading do I recommend? For those who understand the natal charts, you have a numerology chart. So, but no, people don't really talk about the numerology chart, but you have a numerology chart. I believe you may be able to do it free online. I have a program on my computer, I can do it. So, if you wanted a numerology reading, you can ask me, or you can do your own research and figure out how to do this yourself as well. All right? No problem. I appreciate you. No problem, man. What's up, T-Flex TV? What up? Alchemy and transmuting energy. Is that a question? But if that is a question, yes. Alchemy is transmuting energy, the law of transmuting your energy. If that was a question, but if it wasn't, my bad. Let's see. What we got? Do I use CBD? What is CBD? I don't know what that is. What is CBD? I guess I don't use it because I have no idea what CBD is. I have no idea what that is. Let me make sure we're good with the time. We're good with the time. I'll be on here. I guess we'll make this 2 hours. I'll be in here 15 more minutes. We'll make this 2 hours. So again, shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's been here from the jump. Shout out to everybody who may just be tuning in right now. And you didn't miss the whole lecture. I'm just talking to people now. We're just chilling now. But appreciate you nonetheless. Feel free to throw those questions out. Keep throwing those questions if y'all want it. Let's see. Motherfuckers is actually shouting out their signs and their planets. That's what I'm talking about. Get familiar. Get familiar with your sign. Get familiar with all the signs. Get familiar with all the planets. Get familiar with all the elements. Get familiar and start working that magic. Get familiar. Definitely get familiar. Does the star replace the Emperor path in the Thoth Tarot deck? Alright. See this, whoever asked that question, I know you know a little something. You know a little something. You even asked that question. You read the book of Thoth. So for you, because you know now, see, you speak in the inner language now. But yes, the Emperor does replace the star. For those who even understand what that even means. But for those, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So yes, to answer your question. But essentially, does that necessarily change anything? Like how you will work your magic? Not necessarily. So it shouldn't change how you will work your magic, but in terms of the path on the tree of life and the Hebrew correspondence, yes. But for those who ain't even into all that, you can still work with the energy regardless. But for those who are more advanced, then you know you may have to make that switch. But then you still have to see for yourself if that switch really does need to be made. But shout out to you for asking that advanced question. I see it's people out here that do really study advanced. So shout out to you. You know what I mean? To even know what that is. All right. Somebody says Sam. What is it? Samuel. I think the spirit of Samael. They said they don't fuck with Samael, so I guess people don't fuck with Samael, that spirit. Cause I guess people have not had a good experience with this motherfucker. I guess he been hitting and quitting it. I guess he like to cover it, just hit and quit it, and they don't like that. Yeah, I'm just fucking with y'all. I'm just reading the comments. Okay, what am I talking about here? I already talked about the lecture. I'm just answering questions. There really is no topic now. The first hour I talked about the topic. So now I'm just answering questions from now on. Like this is the end of it. So you have to rewatch it to know what I'm talking about. All right. Have you fucked with sacred geometry? Absolutely. Definitely fuck with sacred geometry. Definitely. You are definitely your own guru. Somebody said, "Oh my God, a devil worshiper." I'm glad you can see that. I'm glad you can see it. Because whatever it is about my energy that made you say that, I'm glad you can notice it. So shout out to the motherfucking devil worshippers, the Satanists, the Luciferians. I got love for all you motherfuckers, but I don't judge. You know what I mean? I got love for everybody. Even though I don't claim anything. Just to make that clear. I'm not claiming any titles. But I'm not against it either. So do what you do. If you fuck with Satan, fuck with Satan. If you fuck with God, fuck with God. If you pagan and you fuck with all the deities, then fuck with all of them. To each its own. But people be trying to offend you with little stupid ass shit. Like, you know what it is? We built for this. We tough cookies over here. We tough cookies. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Shout out to you though. Shout out to you. Is there any website or information or books that I feel is most accurate for zodiac energy? I would definitely say the Book of Thoth. Book of Thoth. Book of Thoth. If you really want to understand the tarot, not just the zodiac, because it's a path. You start with the elements. The elements go to the planets. The planets go to the astrology signs, and the astrology signs. You put all this together. Now you can understand the tree of life. So read the Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley. If you want a thorough breakdown of all of this, there is no more thorough breakdown than that book. So the Book of Thoth. Somebody said, "Shut up, servant of the devil." Well, you choose to be here, right? If you really feel some type of way, excuse yourself. But still, shout out to the devil worshippers. Nonetheless. Somebody, okay. Dirty nigga can be a slave of Satan too. See, now, we're dealing with a 13-year-old who think they know something about something. You watch too many cartoons. But, if you don't want this energy sent at you, I recommend you keep your mouth shut. Because, we warriors over here, spiritual warriors. So, if you don't want shit to get real for you, I suggest you excuse yourself. Don't give yourself problems that you don't want. You're still in your youth. Enjoy your youth while you have it. That's all I would say. Is a new zodiac sign legit? I would say it is. But if you don't want to add the 13th sign, it is what it is. You can still get this work. So, all right. How do you connect with the 5%? What I did personally, I bought a book called Knowledge of Self by Supreme Understanding. In the back of this book, it had the emails of all of the gods in each city. And I sent the email to all of the gods in Los Angeles at the time. And they hit me back, and I connected with them. So I don't know how to directly communicate with them, because like I said, I don't know everybody everywhere. So you will have to definitely do your research, and get in the know. But in terms of if you really want to learn about the culture, buy a book called Knowledge of Self by Supreme Understanding. If you really want to go deeper into the 5%, get that book, educate yourself, then connect with the guys in your area. Let the magic happen. All right. Okay. We already know. It's haters everywhere. That's why, we just playing with them. You play with the haters like you play with the pussy. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You play with the haters like you play with pussy. You know what I mean? We built like steel around here, so because we know that this person wouldn't say anything to anybody in person. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't even feel the need to insult anybody if you really stood for who you really are. There's no need to insult anybody because you are okay and comfortable with yourself. You don't care what anybody else is doing. So what that a motherfucker want to worship a devil or suck a couple dicks or whatever. Like, it is what it is. Somebody asked how much for the chart. If you want a numerology chart, I would say like $30. I keep my price low for the numerology chart. But them natal charts though, the natal charts can take a long time. So I gotta up my price with the natal charts. That should be taking 4 or 5 hours for me to get through that whole shit. So, but that's if you want a thorough reading. If you want a thorough reading, that should take like 5 hours. But that's neither here nor there. Hit my email if you are into any of that. Is there a number associated with marijuana or the energy? Is that a real question? Is that a real question? Is there a number associated with marijuana? Are you serious? You know the number associated with marijuana. You know the number associated with it. Come on. You know what that number is. You know that numerology code to connect with marijuana. We all know that code. We all know what that number code is. Come on now. All right. Okay, 555. I see everybody. Shout out to the numerologists out here. Can you change your physical appearance with your thoughts and feelings? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because depending on the level you vibrate on, it influences your appearance. It does. So that's why, a lot of people that are into the same thing look alike because it's an energy thing. So yes, the level you vibe on will have an effect on your physical appearance. Because the body is mostly water. And water is very adaptable. So all this shit can change up depending on the frequency of your thoughts. Who is my favorite esoteric teacher? Oh man. I don't know. Because again, I'm not a person that started off with the YouTube. Like, that's I had the personal interactions. I've actually walked with people who knew for real. So besides my own personal teachers, shout out to them. But besides them, if we want to talk about the internet and the YouTube land, I would say there's no greater than Brother Panic. Brother Panic, you can't go wrong with that. And I would have to check my subscriber list, but Brother Panic, that's it. No, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Because that was the first person I got into contact, not personally, but I discovered his videos after I did a real dark-ass ritual that I spoke about many times before. But that was one of the first information that I came into contact with after I did a very dark ritual. So that's who I would recommend. You're serious? What's my email? My email is lordasar@gmail.com. LORDASAR@gmail.com. So get at me. All right. Thoth is my sign in Egyptian astrology. Is that a thing, G? Is that a thing? I think you said, is that a thing? Or is that a... You also have Egyptian astrology. You're right, though. There is an Egyptian astrology out there, and there is. So, yes, if you're into an Egyptian astrology, if you are into that whole culture, yes, it is relevant, and definitely take that seriously. So, if you're a Thoth, I would say you definitely resonate with the energy of Jupiter, of course, to be a person that's into high science. So, if you do carry the Thoth energy, I would say connect closely with that Thoth energy, as I'm sure you do anyway, but definitely Egyptian astrology is legit, but it's more advanced, like I said, just like with the Vedic. So kind of got to take it with a grain of salt until you learn the basics. Once you learn the basics, then you can have a greater appreciation for all these other ways of life, because each system has astrology. You have you have Mayan astrology, you have Chinese astrology, you have all types of astrology. So I would say study all forms of astrology, because the culture of that land is encoded in astrology. Astrology will also teach you about the culture that you're studying. So just a quick jewel for those in the know. All right. Somebody said that, I'm purposely ignoring the trolls right now. That's all it is. I'm like, let them die. Because if I don't give it life, it don't live. It is what it is. Like, I can block this person, but, let them get a little shine on. Let them feel good about themselves. But once the video is done, you don't exist. And that's the reality. You don't exist once this shit stops. So, get yours in while you're here. It is what it is, yo. But yeah, that's the thing. I definitely feel this is a community. All the people that gather and that listen, I definitely want the people to interact with each other instead of just listening to me. That's why I'm going to start a Facebook group. So for those on Facebook, I plan on starting a group 2 to 4 weeks. I want to get the visuals right. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving visuals. I want it to be like a visual thing. I don't want it just to be knowledge, and we're just talking about knowledge. I definitely want to implement technology into it and visuals, meditation tools, binaural beats, isochronic tones, all that. Just bringing everybody together in one place. And I'm not sure how you do this with YouTube. I'm still learning, and I'm gonna do several things. So just bear with me. There's definitely more things coming, more things in the works. All right. Appreciate it. I see everybody vibing in the comments. I'm just reading it, so I'm checking out everybody. So I'm glad that everybody vibe. Definitely, everybody introduce yourselves. Share y'all emails or whatever. For those who want to connect with those, y'all share y'all emails. I'm pretty sure everybody got YouTube channels. Everybody should have a Facebook or an Instagram or whatever. So, y'all interact with each other, and I'm gonna definitely find out how to enhance that so we can all come together, not just for the live streams, but for more things as well in the future. So, all right, yeah. Let me block this punk ass person. Yeah, enough is enough. So yeah, give me 1 second. I'll block this person because it's just, give me 1 second. And they're gone. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. You ask somebody who, because they disagree with a particular lifestyle, let's just say in this example, devil worshiping, even though that's not what's going on here, but is it really what's going on here? Nonetheless, they felt so much in their heart that they gotta become the keyboard warrior. And I was gonna let it slide, but now you keep pressing the keyboard, but now you don't exist anymore, so we good. So that person doesn't exist. You'll never see him again. They're blocked from the channel, but they did it to themselves. They got their little 5 minutes to shine, but we'll never hear about them again. So shout out to you. You know what I mean? Because you're now unknown. You don't exist. You don't matter, and you're irrelevant. But we warriors over here. We built like steel. See, I don't have to get out of character or nothing. I ain't gotta call you out your name, because we built like steel. So fuck the bullshit. Do I feel cursed from the Book of Thoth? Or is that BS? Again, I'm new, so I'm still doing research. It just depends. It's like Aleister Crowley has this negative stigma on him already. Right? So they already was calling this man the most wicked man on the planet. They was calling him the B666, even though that's the name he gave himself. So he already has this negative stigma on his name already. But I'll tell you this. The only reason I respect it is because there has been nobody else who has came and who has done what he's done. There is no book greater than the Book of Thoth. There may be books that are equal to the Book of Thoth, but nobody has transcended that work. Nobody has written a more thorough path to the tarot, to astrology, to the tree of life, to the Kabbalah than the Book of Thoth. So if that means that the book is cursed because nobody has surpassed it, it is what it is. But to each his own. For those who need a lighter path, then you take a lighter path. The underworld is not for you. So stay far away. You know what I mean? I'm far back. I'm like 10 minutes behind in these comments. I'm 10 minutes, but I appreciate everybody. I want to get to everybody's questions before we check out. So I'm gonna catch up. I'm actually at 20%. So the phone is actually about to die. So we're gonna end it there instead of it just cutting off suddenly. So appreciate everybody for tuning in this long, sticking with me for these 2 hours. I'll be right back at y'all tomorrow, if not later tonight. Again, every single day. I'm coming at y'all you got to see my face every day if you so choose. So till next time, peace, love, happiness, chaos, destruction, madness, Hotep, Islam, peace, happiness, whatever, destruction, death, whatever your path is. We're going to get up out of here. So appreciate everybody. If I didn't get to your questions, just get at me next time. Send me an email if you need a personal question answered. Send me an email. Just wait till the next live stream. Or find your answers on your own. So we're going to check up out of here. Peace.